This long column is the foundation of the nervous system at the very early stage, quite familiar. At 6 weeks, usually being tested. Each new step could reveal what you see here will not inevitably become a baby. 5 out of 6 embryos will not have survived up to 8 weeks in the womb.
It's just really hard for me to even ask you this question because I'm almost in disbelief. If a baby is born on a table as a result of a botched abortion, what would Planned Parenthood want to have happen to that child that's struggling for life?
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, we believe that any decision that's made should be left up to the woman, her family, and the physician.
What happens in a situation where a baby is alive, breathing on a table, moving? What do your physicians do at that point?
You're recognized.
I do not have that information. I am not a physician. I'm not an abortion provider. So I do not have that information.
I am the doctor you're meeting with today. So
okay.
it's all of it.
Okay.
So I do the state mandated stuff, which is kind of this part, but I'm going to go through everything in terms of the procedure, how it works, what we're going to be doing, all of that stuff too. If you feel like you're having contractions and enough discomfort that you think it might be labor, call us. Even if it is 1 o'clock in the morning, we want to know, and we can meet you here in the office to take care of you.
Would it ever come out? Would I give birth while I'm calling you and on the way to what would I do if that happened? If
that happens, just keep calling us, keep heading in this direction.
Okay.
And then we can help.
If it's
well, and that's the
not to get graphic, but if it's moving and stuff, I still come to you?
Still come here.
Okay.
Absolutely. Step 2 is that we do the injection, which is a quick poke through your belly, and that stops the fetal heart, so that makes it so if you were to deliver, there shouldn't be movement, there shouldn't be any of those things.
Okay.
So it's almost like we're guaranteed it's we're okay.
We induce a demise, an intrauterine demise.
What does demise mean?
Death.
Does it come out in pieces or does it come out whole?
It depends. Every case is a little bit different because the medicines we give you will help us do different things. But it's more common that it comes out in pieces.
And then what do you do with the baby after, or the pieces and stuff?
So the fetus and everything that goes along with it, the placenta, all of that is sent to a what are they called? A funeral home, and they're cremated, and then the ashes we spread out in the desert, in the foothills or one of the hills they take them to and spread the ashes into nature. We use a combination of suction and then real instruments to literally go in and grab and pull pieces out.
Okay.
Maybe that's a little more graphic than I usually describe it. When you come in tomorrow, you'll be 23 weeks and 2 days. And the state of Arizona requires me to tell you that at that gestational age, the fetus is about 8 inches from the top of its head to its buttocks. It has a beating heart, fingers, toes, and it can make spontaneous movements.
At this point, does it have all of its organs and all of that stuff? Is it already fully
It's not
developed?
fully developed. It doesn't even look like a baby yet.
It doesn't?
Technically, it has its organs. It has parts, we all have parts, but it's not done.
So, does it have a face or all of that stuff? Or?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That's what's developing into.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want you to torture yourself.
And did you understand exactly what the digoxin does? That's the injection that they give you. That It's one of your forms that you filled out.
And it like goes into my stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That stops the heartbeat.
Of the baby?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're okay with that?
I don't really have another choice, do I?
No, well you don't, but you could probably do it without the digoxin if you wanted to.
How?
Well, it just takes longer to...
How do they do it then?
Huh?
How do they do it if they don't use
Well, they don't use the digoxin, they'll just suction the baby, and it's possible that there may be movement as they're taking out the fetus.
Like movement after?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens?
Well, then usually it stops on its own.
Okay. So, okay, if they use the
digoxin?
No, what did you say, suction?
Uh-huh.
So if they use the suction, then there's possible movement when it comes out.
Yeah, and sometimes after...
Is it alive or?
Sometimes they are, yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it will come out whole, because they use suction, plus they use instruments, and sometimes the fetuses don't come out, that's not complete.
Okay.
So,
but if it does come out whole,
mm-hmm.
I mean, will they resuscitate it? Like, will I have to take care of it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, but the digoxin is probably the best thing for it. That way there's no suffering. Okay?
Okay.
I need your signature and date on that line, and then we'll get you going.
If that does happen, like if they do it, if I were to choose to do it that way, like, you would just let it go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you would just let it die on its own if
Mm-hmm.
it was whole
mm-hmm.
and breathing. Yes?
They
Okay.
do not resuscitate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just let it die on its own and...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the chances of it coming out with a heartbeat are kind of slim because, like I said, it's a procedure where they use instruments and suction, and it's most of the time they don't come out whole.
Okay.
But
if it does, then I don't have to worry about getting in trouble or taking a baby home.
Oh, no.
Okay. I understand that you're not a physician, but you do represent physicians who do perform this activity. Mm-hmm. And can you tell me what happens when a baby is alive on the table? At that point, what do they do with the baby that is struggling to live?
You're recognized.
I don't know, and as it's been referenced earlier, we don't know even how prevalent this situation is.
Doctors use a technique called the Mole technique, which refers to late-term abortion. It can be performed as late as 35 weeks into the pregnancy, which is the second and third trimester, which takes 3 to 4 days to complete. On the first day, a woman is given an ultrasound to determine the age of the baby. Once determined, a lethal dosage of heart medication known as digoxin is inserted into the baby's heart, causing a fatal heart attack. People disagree to late-term abortion because it's said that babies in the second and third trimester can feel pain. The deceiving lies that abortion is completely painless to you and the baby is incorrect. A dead baby can be delivered within a few days after the medication is given. Some women don't even deliver the dead newborn in a hospital. They choose to deliver in a bathroom or at their home without proper disposal. A dilation and curettage known as D&C is entered after giving birth to remove the remaining dead tissue. After the newborn, a woman is given a party pack which includes abortion aftercare, instructions, and birth control.
The church teaches from the 5th commandment that you shall not kill, and that every life is sacred. Killing a helpless child is non-negotiable and wrong. A child is a human, either a fetus or almost a newborn. Late-term abortion is morally wrong. You are killing an innocent child for your own selfish needs through a brutal, non-safe abortion process.
The Roman Catholic Church is against abortion. Catholics believe that life is sacred even if you are in the womb. Some people disagree with abortion because they feel it is taking the life of an innocent. Some women believe that there is no other option if you don't want the baby. The Roman Catholic Church says that this is morally bad. The intention is to kill a baby, and that is a bad decision. They say that we have to respect the sacredness of life. The Bible forbids abortion just like it forbids murder. The 5th commandment states, "You shall not kill." The Church believes this about any life, even if they aren't born. After an abortion, there can be a huge impact on the mother. They may feel regret, anger, guilt, depression, and many other negative emotions. Abortion affects women physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
There are many severe side effects following an abortion, which can include abdominal pain and cramping, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, spotting, and bleeding. More serious side effects would include heavy or persistent bleeding, infection, damage to the cervix, scarring of the uterine lining, damage to other organs, perforating of the uterus, or even possibly death. Side effects vary from each woman but are very important to be aware of prior to an abortion.
Pro-life and pro-choice basically comes down to the decision of abortion being banned. Being pro-life means to believe that the government has an obligation to preserve all human life. On the other hand, being pro-choice gives you the freedom to make your own decisions. Pro-choice leaves abortion to be legal, and pro-life states that all life, even non-viable, undeveloped human life, is sacred and must be protected by the government, therefore not making abortion legal. Unlike pro-life, pro-choice argues that the government does not have the right to take away a woman's right to decide whether or not to continue a pregnancy due to whatever reason behind it. The Church believes in an immortal soul being planted the moment of conception, and if this is what a person is determined by, then there is no difference from terminating a week-old pregnancy and killing a living, breathing person. This would be considered as involuntary manslaughter rather than murder. The consequences of the death of a human person are regarded by pro-lifers in the same way. The Washington debate on abortion has been going on for many years and is still continuing today on whether making it completely legal or illegal in the United States. And people are fighting to ban this every day because regardless of anything, all life is sacred from the moment of conception. As of today, abortion is legal in almost all states with the exception of certain states making their own regulations on how far into the pregnancy a woman can terminate it. This is according to the 1973 court ruling in Roe v. Wade. The most recent debate has been over the abortion funding bill. This discusses debating legislation that would further define medically necessary abortion for purposes of medical funding. Members debated 5 proposed amendments after having public speakers for Planned Parenthood and also looking over previous bills. It failed on a vote of 18 to 22. The bill states that the Department of Health and Social Services to fund no abortion services under Medicaid unless the abortion is medically necessary or unless the pregnancy was a result of incest or rape. The bill specifically defines only medically necessary abortions needed to avoid a serious risk of a woman's life.
There are other options rather than abortion for mothers that won't be emotionally, physically, and spiritually damaging. At the time, they may feel abortion is the easiest choice, but in reality, the emotional scar it can leave on women may never go away.
Growing up as an adopted child didn't really faze me, but as I started getting older, I soon came to my own realization that my birth mother gave me away because she didn't want me anymore. But really, it was the complete opposite. When I was just 11 days old, my birth mother realized that she could not take care of me, and she put me in a basket on the doorstep of a police station. She did this so that someone would find me and bring me to an adoption agency. Although I don't have any information about my birth mother today, I truly understand and believe she did what was best for me because she loved and cared for me. She was living under such circumstances that may not have been suitable for a child to grow up in. My birth mother knew that the best option at that point was to give me up, so a fortunate family would come into my life and provide me with the beneficial needs that she was not able to give. My birth mother really did have the choice of life or death for me, and I could not be any more grateful to have been adopted by such a loving, caring, humble family. I do not think of them any differently than my parents. They nurtured me and watched me grow throughout these past 17 years. I am truly blessed to have an amazing family, all because my birth mother gave me life.
We're at the One Center of the Adoptions Affairs, and this is your paperwork with Daddy and Mommy's name. And there's the stamp of approval. Hold it up, Annie. Your baby is having this. There's your footprint and your information picture when first received it. And there's your mommy. Yes.
Here it is. There's your mommy. There she is. Oh, there's Daddy too.
October 5th, 1997.
We're coming. I don't see a date on there though, Daddy.
It's already programmed.
Oh, okay. Here they come.
Here, this one just this.
I'm ready when you're ready.